Hello and welcome to this training. I'm Christophe Dujaric and I'm the Chief Product Officer at Blackfire IO. Today I will show you how to fire up your Magento store performance with Blackfire. Okay, so here I have a Luma website which is deployed on Magento Cloud and which I will use for the full integration demo. Here is the Magento Cloud user interface, where I can see my master production branch and then all the staging branches that have been deployed. This is my GitHub repository where I have my code, I have my pull requests, I have all of the changes that I will submit on my application. Here, I'm actually going to make a very simple code change. I'm just going to add this file here and commit it to my pull requests in order to trigger Magento Cloud for a redeploy of that environment. And here it goes. Now I can see right here on my pull request that the commit status has changed and that Magento Cloud is currently deploying. Here on the Magento Cloud user interface, I see that the status of the deployment is in progress. It usually takes a few minutes, so I'm going to accelerate this video until it's completed. Okay, now I see that the deployment is a success, so I can go check on GitHub and see that the commit status is updated with Blackfire that's now started to execute all of my test scenarios on all of the pages that I configured previously, and I will get a build report shortly. And here it goes. The build report is complete. The commit status is updated. I'm going to go check the build report and see that most likely an error occurred, that something went wrong with my checkout page. I can see all of the recommendations and assertions that pop up in the build report. Most likely I'm too slow. And here is the error. And the payment and product list pages are okay. The easiest way for me to figure out what went wrong with the performance of my application is going to be through the performance recommendations that you can see here. Those are best practices that we define together with our partner agencies, our PHP performance experts, and Magento themselves. And those recommendations include a full documentation that explains why such a best practice and how to fix it. Another way to figure out what went wrong with my application is through the performance expectations that I have set through those assertions right here. And most likely I'm too slow. So the one thing I can do is then go and look at the profile data. This view here really shows the full execution path of my code. And it's extremely simple to just look at the color codes and figure out what happened on wall time, I/O, CPU, memory, network, HTTP calls, and SQL queries. So those will really give me thorough understanding of my code's behavior and why the performance isn't matching my expectations. I can also find back the recommendations directly on that view, as well as the function lists. And in that function list, then it's going to be very easy for me to navigate between the calls and understand who called who and who is spending time and memory. Now let's assume that I'm going to fix that cache issue that the recommendation told me about, the full page cache. I'm just going to deploy a fix on a new branch, and I'm going to be able to profile it very easily, either via the Chrome extension, like here, by simply clicking that button, or what I can do is also use the command line interface and have a Blackfire curl command that I will run on the website's URL, and that will trigger the profiling, so just the same way than with the Chrome extension. Now I can of course go look at the profile that I just generated and look through the call graph what happened, but what's going to be much more interesting is to go and compare the new profile with a previous version where I had that issue and that recommendation that was given to me. Then I'm going to be able to see the call graph as a difference that really shows how much time I have spent with that very simple change in my configuration. Okay, let's look back for a minute. Blackfire is actually really useful in any stage of an application's development. Maybe in development where you'll be able to debug, improve, and validate your code changes. In test and staging, just like I've shown with the build report functionality that will enable you to decide before your new code goes in production if your performance expectations are met. And then it can be used in production, especially in conjunction, for instance, with New Relic, where the idea is that as New Relic is a monitoring application and that Blackfire is a profiling application, you get different levels of information out of the two tools. One of them will help you to monitor all of the traffic to your website and then raise alerts when they figure out that something is going wrong, and that is New Relic. But by doing so, they cannot go as deep into the code's details as Blackfire does, because that would then impact the end user's experience too much. So Blackfire doesn't monitor the end user's request. It only profiles the requests that are generated by the developers themselves. And by combining the two tools, you have both the alert on the fact that something is going wrong, and then you have the full details on the code's behavior so that you can then exactly understand what's going wrong and how to fix it. There it is. Well, don't hesitate to get in touch with either Scott or me if you have any question, and we'd be happy to help. Thank you.